You got out of the car, slamming the door shut with more force than necessary. Jungkook flinched, gaping at you with disbelief. Jerk, boring person, idiot. You murmured profanities under your breath as you stormed towards the front door. Jungkook got out of the car, staring at you, retreating back with confusion. Hey, at least take your bag, he called out from behind. You spun around and shot him a glare. Suit yourself. You snapped and stormed towards the entrance without waiting for his reply. He sighed, knowing he was the reason for your anger. He didn't let you play music during the 2 hours of car ride to his parents' farmhouse, nor did he have a proper conversation with you. His short replies, yes, no, huh, and curt notes only added up to your frustration. You pressed the doorbell, and after a few moments, the door opened, revealing your mother in law. A wide smile broke out on her lips when her eyes met yours. Oh dear, you are here finally, she chirped happily and pulled you in a warm hug. A soft smile curved on your lips as you reciprocated the hug. Your dad and I have been waiting for you since morning, she said, parting away from the hug. You smiled widely at her. The extra bonus you got by marrying Jungkook was your warm and welcoming in-laws. I'm so happy to be here with you, Mom. She patted your head lovingly and clasped your hand in hers. Let's go inside, but wait, where is Jungkook? She asked, finally remembering her son, who had been a forgotten topic since she got a daughter-in-law. You craned your head, looking behind at Jungkook, who was hauling two big luggage. She followed your gaze. Oh, good, he can manage. Let's go inside. You looked at her surprised at how nonchalant she was. You thought she would berate you for having her son carry her bag as well, but her reaction was totally unexpected. Sure, Mom, he can manage. You glanced back at Jungkook and smirked at him. Your smirk only widened when he scowled at you. That's what you get after pissing me off. You murmured to yourself and followed your mother-in-law inside. You were greeted by a warm hug from your father-in-law. Oh, my favorite child, he exclaimed, patting your head affectionately. Guess who prepared the lunch today? I did, and I swear you are going to love it. You chuckled, observing his contagious happiness. You loved them. Ryan, you snapped your head towards the source of the voice. Your eyes widened, watching your sister-in-law, Jiyoon, running towards you with open arms. Before you could register the situation, she jumped on you, hugging you like a koala. You stumbled back at the sudden force, but somehow saved yourself from falling. I have been waiting for you. She pulled her head back and grinned ear to ear. You know there's a big garden at the front, one at the back of the house. There's a library. I'm sure you're gonna love it. Also, I found a perfect spot for the next photo shoot. You can... Jiyoon, get off of her. She just arrived. At least let her breathe in peace. You smiled as she slapped her forehead in realization. Smiling apologetically, she got down. I'm sorry, Ryan. I just got a little excited. She batted her eyelashes like an innocent child. You chuckled and shook your head. Hi, Jungkook. You frowned, turning your head towards the unfamiliar voice. Your frown only deepened when you saw an unknown girl around Jiyoon's age standing in front of Jungkook. Her smile was radiant, her voice as sugary as the strawberry pastries you had been craving lately. But something about her seemed off, something that interpreted that you should stay away from her. You remember me, right? She asked, beaming at him. Though she was standing just next to you, she didn't even glance in your direction, which only fueled your growing curiosity about her. Your husband, ever the Ice Prince, acknowledged her greetings with a mere nod. Aaron. And then he looked at you, pinning you under a stern gaze. Oh, Vine, you must not know her. She's Erin, my childhood best friend. She just returned from abroad 2 days ago. That's why she couldn't make it to your wedding. You nodded, smiling politely at the new face. But what caught you off guard was that Erin didn't smile back. You could sense something was definitely wrong with her with the way she looked at you. The visible bitterness in her expression was too prominent to hide. Wine, Jungkook, freshen up and join us for lunch. She spoke, breaking your trance of thoughts. You nodded, and she made her way towards the kitchen along with Mr. John. He turned to Jungkook. Our room, the last room on the first floor. Nodding at him, you made your way towards the stairs. However, you stopped in your tracks when you heard her. Oh my god, are you making him carry your bag too? Is he a burglar? Now, this was what you despised the most when people wouldn't mind their own business. You spun on your heels, a tight lipped smile edged across your face. No, but he's my husband, and you see, I'm tired. So, he's carrying the bags. Though your mind provoked you to give her a stern reply, you decided otherwise. You didn't follow drama, but drama certainly followed you everywhere. So, he's tired too. You should show some courtesy. You clenched your jaw, fighting back the urge to say something rude that would make her cat cry reverse. But meanwhile, Jiun and Jungkook were quietly witnessing the exchange between you two, not knowing what to say. How considerate of you, Aaron. Now that you know he's tired too, help him carry the bag upstairs to our room. You uttered, smiling so widely that your cheeks' muscles started to hurt. What, but thank you so much. You're so sweet, honey. Saying so, you ascended the stairs without waiting for her response. Erin gritted her teeth and looked at Jungkook, expecting him to say something, anything in her favor. However, he just forwarded a bag towards her. It's a lighter one. He walked towards the stairs, leaving behind Jeon and Erin. I'll go help my parents. She fled away before Erin could say a word to her. She groaned in annoyance and reluctantly carried the bag towards her room. Jungkook stepped inside the room and Erin followed shortly after. You sat on the bed, silently looking at them. Jungkook, thanks for helping me with the bags. Now, if you excuse us, we need to freshen up. You cut her off. She pursed her lips and nodded. She glanced at you and you gave her a sweet smile, waving at her. As soon as she left, Jungkook closed the door behind her. You rolled your eyes when he looked at you, still slightly mad at him. Oh, will you go first or should I? You can use the washroom. I need time to select my clothes. Giving a nod, he took out a fresh pair of clothes from his luggage and padded to the washroom. Again, the same black outfit. Does this man have any other color than black? You murmured to yourself, staring at the closed bathroom door. You and Jungkook were poles apart. You were a fashion designer and thus you had an unhealthy obsession with vibrant and fancy clothes. Whereas your husband was an architect. His clothes were like him, dull and intense. Amidst these differences, there was something common between you two, and that was you both were workaholics and weren't much fans of socializing. There were no love interests in both of your life, just work, work, and work. Thus, your parents stepped up to find a suitable match for you. You had agreed to this alliance thinking you would get to experience some romance after marriage. However, your expectations came crashing down when you realized that your parents had found a legit male version of you as your husband, and he was even worse in romance department. It felt like two apprentices were stuck in an awkward alliance, exploring the adventures of married life together. At least he is hard and handsome, tall and muscular too. This isn't that. You walked towards the dining room alone as Jungkook had already come here when you stayed back to take a call from your assistant. You made your way towards the empty chair beside Jungkook, but before you could even reach there, Aiden walked past you and sat there. You frowned in confusion. Jiyoon, who was sitting across from Jungkook, also noticed Erin's behavior. "Oh, Erin, come and sit beside me." "No, I'm fine here," she replied. You looked at Jungkook, but he was engaged in a conversation with his father, oblivious to all the drama happening next to him. "I know you are fine, but that's one place to sit." Erin finally rolled her eyes and forced out a smile. "Oh, come on, June. It's not a big deal. I'm just sitting here. It's not like I'm taking her place as Jungkook's wife." She laughed as if she had cracked some joke, but you didn't like how she said it. By June's expression, it seemed as if she didn't like it either. "It's okay, June. She's right. She can't replace me." You laughed along, occupying the seat beside June. Your remark made Aaron's smile disappear. Silence fell over after that. Erin didn't speak a word while you replied to your assistant text to guide her about a few things. "Why, give yourself a break and eat your food." "Just a moment, Mom. The wedding dress must be delivered by this evening." You replied without looking at her and sending a few more texts. You put your phone aside. You saw the food was already served on your plate. "Thank you, G." You halted when you noticed that it wasn't Jiyoon but Jungkook sitting beside you. From your peripheral vision, you observed Jiyoon's teasing smile. "You can stare at me later. For now, eat your food. It's getting cold," he whispered in his deep, husky voice. You blinked and looked away, but couldn't help yourself from blushing. Though this was a small gesture, but it made you feel butterflies in your stomach. But there was someone who didn't like it at all. "So, it was an arranged marriage, huh?" she asked, entering after you in the kitchen. You took a brief glance at her and nodded. "That means Jungkook doesn't love you." You paused in your task and looked at her. "I guess that is not a matter of your concern." You replied, your voice turned, which left no room for further interrogation, but it appeared Aaron's sole purpose was to somehow get under your skin. "I'm just asking. A loveless marriage is a bane. Besides, when the partners are not compatible." "Are you here to help me with the dishes, honey? You are such a nice person. Look, I have washed half of them. You can manage with the rest, right?" You smiled at her, removing the gloves and handing them to her. "What? But thank you, Erin. I'll just go and make a quick call to my assistant. Enjoy." You gave her a sweet smile and dashed out of the kitchen before she could speak. "Okay, good job, Sabby. I'm gonna treat you a nice lunch once I'm back." You smiled as you heard the flustered laugh of your assistant. It was the first time you were away from your office. You were panicking as you had to deliver a wedding gown. Everything was supposed to be perfect. A small mistake could ruin someone's special day and you didn't want that. But Sabby handled everything perfectly, much to your relief. "Hit me up if something comes up. None of our brides should be left disheartened." With that, you disconnected the call. Stretching a bit, you let out an exasperated sigh. "I should take a nap." You stifled a yawn and made your way towards your room. When you were walking past Jion's room, you heard some noises from inside. At first, you decided to ignore it, but then your steps halted when you heard your husband's name. You didn't want to eavesdrop, but you couldn't handle the glowing curiosity and stopped outside the door. "Stop it, Aaron. Why should I? You are my friend, right? But you betrayed me, Jion. Why didn't you tell me that he was getting married?" "Because that's none of your concern. I am your friend, not my brother. It was his decision to get married. But you know I like him. In fact, he knew it too. Still, you couldn't hear more than that. You walked towards your room, your mind clouded with the conversation you just heard. Deep down, you sensed it. That was why she was giving you looks at now and then. "I don't care. I shouldn't waste my energy on something that doesn't even involve me. I have better things to do." You murmured to yourself all the way to the bedroom. When you woke up, you found yourself wrapped in your husband's arms. You looked at him through your half-lidded eyes. He was sleeping, his face inches away from yours, his dark hair perfectly falling on his forehead. Jungkook, you whispered groggily in order to wake him up, but he didn't buzz. Jungkook, you called out again, this time louder, tapping his shoulders. He groaned and slowly opened his eyes. What? His sleepy voice, deep and raspy, sent a shiver down your spine. Lately, everything about him seemed hot to you. You are hugging me. As you said it, his grip tightened around your waist, pulling you closer if possible. I know, he replied, nuzzling his face in your hair. I know you know, but I want you to let go. We are not here to just sleep, right? You tried to remove his arms to get up, but he wasn't ready to let go just yet. But we are here to relax, and I'm relaxing. His voice faded in a soft sigh as he thumped his leg over your thigh. You blinked, processing what just happened. He was acting different. Maybe it was due to a change of space or change of air, but whatever the reason was, you were liking it. Yeah, but you flinched when you heard a loud crash at the bedroom door. Startled, you shared a glance with Jungkook, whose reaction was not different from yours. You heard that? Yeah, let me check. He got off the bed and walked towards the door with you following closely behind. As he opened the door, you two saw a broken vase there, as if someone had thrown it at the door and it shattered into pieces. How did it come here? You looked around and your eyes spotted a shadow at the far corner of the hallway. Someone was hiding behind the giant pillar. You saw glimpses of green dress and your doubts got clear. It was Erin because she was the only one wearing a green dress and also because she was the only one reacting like a obsessed psycho. Perhaps because of an don't think too much. You waved it off, mentally making a note to shatter her attitude like the shattered vase. I guess you're right. He sighed and stepped inside, shutting the door again. Have you ever encountered a crazy fangirl of yours? He looked at your disbelief, marring his face. No, but I have found a crazy wife who asks silly questions. He replied, running a hand through his messy hair, disheveling them further. Any wife would be crazy and ask these silly questions if her husband is hot like you. You blurted out before you could second guess yourself. Jungkook's head snapped towards you while your eyes widened and cheeks heated up as realization hit you. What? What? You looked anywhere but at him. What did you just say? He asked, folding his arms across his chest, a hint of smoke dancing on his lips. Huh? I didn't say anything at all. You decided to play dumb, but Jungkook wasn't ready to let go of it this very moment of teasing you. Really? But I heard you calling me hot. I need to pee so bad. You fled inside the washroom before Jungkook could get a hold of you. Jungkook chuckled, ruffling his hair. A soft pink hue coated his cheeks. Getting married wasn't a bad idea though. She makes it fun. You were strolling in the front yard, still flustered over the earlier interaction with Jungkook. It was hard to look at him and not blush. Thus, you sought escape in the garden. These are some pretty roses. You bent down, breathing in the fragrance of roses when you felt a tug at your arm and you were turned around sharply. Who the hell has a death wish? You snapped, looking at the person with irritation, but it doubled up when you saw Aaron. This girl wasn't just ready to leave you alone for a moment. Leave him. Her tone was venomous, which ached you just at your right nerves. So the snake was finally coming out of his facade. Jungkook deserves someone who actually understands him. Someone like me. You blinked, holding yourself back from laughing at her audacity. Did she did she really think she was the protagonist of some romantic drama? Excuse me, you tilted your head, giving her an innocent look that you knew would trigger her even more. That was what you wanted, a full-blown drama if it was going to happen. I have known him longer than you. I know what he needs. She said, crossing her arms as if her declaration held any weight. And let's be honest, do you really think you are good enough for him? Uh, Well, Jungkook knows it better. If he agreed to this alliance, then he must have thought about it now. I didn't force him, honey. And let's stop reacting like I'm some woman who snagged the John Jungkook. It's him who hit a jackpot. You replied rather calmly. A proud smile remained intact on your lips. Shut up. How can you react like this after coming between us? You snatched him from me. She snarled as if she was the angry victim here. Snatched him? What is he? A candy? Girl, you need to grow up. And us? You burst into loud laughter. What us are you talking about? Was he committed to you? No, right? You are wasting a wrong person's time and energy. Why don't you go and talk to my husband and hear him yourself? Or should I call him here? I think I should call him. You walked past her to go back inside. You are ruining his life. She spent with absolute hate. You spun around and stepped closer to her. You know what else I can ruin? This face of yours, and I swear I won't regret it even a bit. She opened her mouth to speak, but you put your hand up, rendering her silent. I'm not done speaking yet. I am enduring your nonsense not because I owe you something, but because you are my sister-in-law's friend. You're nobody to me, got it? If I want, I can just tell everything to mom and she won't think twice before throwing you out of the house. So wash it on when you talk to me. You are a guest. Better behave like one. She gritted her teeth and you clenched your hands, bracing yourself. Look at you, so full of attitude. I'm sure Jungkook is gonna regret marrying you one day. You're so full of yourself, you will make him unhappy too. Excuse me? A familiar voice cut through the chilly evening. You noticed Jungkook walking towards you with Jiyeon. They both looked angry. Who are you to decide that? He pinned her under a stunned glare, stopping just beside you. Eren's expression switched quickly in front of him. You scoffed when she pulled that innocent look again. I heard what you said to my wife. Be grateful that you are a girl, or I would have snapped your neck by now. Her chest swelled with pride. You had a strong urge to kiss him breathless, but it had to wait for a while now. Jungkook, I loved you before her. I was in your life before her. Then why did you choose her and not me? Her eyes filled with tears, and you felt the tiniest bit of bad for her. Loved me? Aaron, you were 12 back then when you said you loved me. And I very politely made it clear that I see you nothing more than my sister friend. I thought we were over it because it meant nothing to me to begin with. He was calm, utterly calm to any other person in the same situation. She choked on her sobs, crying hysterically. Jungkook sighed. He looked at June, who nodded, realizing what he was insinuating. His expression softened immediately when his eyes switched to you. He wrapped a jacket around your shoulder and dragged you inside. Are you planning to get sick? Let's head inside. After you both left, Jiyeon turned to Aaron. Pack your bags and leave. I'll ask our driver to drop you home. She turned around to leave, but Aaron held her hand. Jiyeon, you too? I thought we were friends. Is she more important than me? Jiyeon yanked her hand out of her hold and looking at her angrily. Really, Aaron, friends, you were 13 when you shifted overseas with your family. I tried to stay in contact for 6 years, but it was you who never tried, and we lost contact 4 years ago because I too stopped trying. Now, suddenly you showed up at my house saying you want to catch up. You want our old friendship back, but she shook her head in disappointment. If I knew earlier that you wanted to join us on our vacation to create disputes between my brother and his wife, I would have never let you come with us. I warned you, but you chose not to listen. Now leave. So you're choosing her over our friendship? Yes, because she makes my brother happy. She treats my parents as her own. We didn't need to force a bond with her. It's all natural as if she was always a part of our family. Bullshit. You like her because she's helping you with your modeling career. She sighed bitterly. June fell silent, wondering what kind of person Erin actually was. She was taken aback by all the toxicity she was filled with. I'm not selfish like you, Aaron. Let's just say this adds one more reason to like her. I'll bring your luggage, get in the car. Saying so, June rushed back inside, wanting to send her back as soon as possible. Where are you dragging me, Jungkook? I want to show you something, just come with me. You whined, nevertheless followed him. Your jaw dropped, seeing the view in front of you. It was a pool made of stones and surrounded by greenery. There was a man-made waterfall at one corner and a fountain in the middle. It was something straight out of one of nature's wonders. I recently got it renovated. Every single corner is designed by me. How's that? He asked, but you were too stunned to speak. You just couldn't stop admiring the natural-looking swimming pool. It's mesmerizing. You are one hell of a talented man. You beamed at him and he smiled back, satisfied by your reaction. Your hand was still clasped by his. Let's take a closer look. He tugged at your hand but you resisted, shaking your head. No, the stone looks slippery. We both will fall. Nothing will happen, just come with me. You resisted, knowing he would fall himself and would take you along as well. Jungkook, let's step back. I have this strong feeling that we would fall. He waved it off, but then his foot slipped and he directly fell in the cold water, taking you along with him. Your head popped up on the surface and you gasped loudly, spitting out the extra water. You trembled like a leaf and clung to Jungkook to find some warmth. I told you, you idiot! You jinxed it by saying it over and over again. He held you tighter so that your wet bodies were sticking to each other. Shut up and let's get out of here. It's cold. Your teeth chattered and you hooked your arms around his neck, thinking he would swim you both over to the edge. But when he didn't make a move, you looked at him. What? Nothing, let's just stay. I like it here. He liked the way you were sticking to him, the feeling of your soft flesh against his torn body. And freeze to that. No thanks, I want to live my life. That's mean. We took vows in front of hundreds of people. He intentionally made that remark to distract you into arguing so that he could hold you a few moments longer. I don't remember taking a vow to stay with you in cold water on a chilly evening. Gosh, that itself sounds like a serious case of pneumonia. He chuckled, his chest vibrating against yours. But you did take a vow to stay by my side until death do us apart. Of course I did, and I'll stay by your side. But there, at the edge, wearing warm clothes, I'll watch you from there, so let me go. That's so rude, wife, leaving your husband in this horrendous situation when you should stay by his side. Besides, it feels warm when you hold me like this. Your struggle stopped when his voice dropped octave lower. Your eyes locked with his. Don't you ever feel like holding me tight and never letting go? Because I do. Sometimes I feel like squeezing you in my arms. Your cheeks heated up at his honest confession. And when you responded to Aaron with that sassiest attitude, you looked hot. I loved it. I loved how you always take a stand for yourself. I know I don't have to worry about you, but the one against you, because you, Mr. John, can be dangerous. Your cheeks turned a bright shade of crimson. So, you don't have any questions about what happened earlier about her? You shook your head, smiling at him. I trust you, and I know you would have told me if there was someone in your life before me because you, Mr. John, can be anything but dishonest and a liar. I loved how transparent you are. I don't have to worry about anything except you dying, which might come true if we didn't get out of the water now. He chuckled and shook his head, shaking the water off his hair. You groaned and tried to push him away, but he had you held hostage in his clutches. Okay, fine, let's get out of here. But before that, you heard Jiyeon calling out your name. Ryan, where are you? You were about to shout back, but Jungkook pressed a hand on your mouth. He swarmed behind a big rock and pinned you against it, his hand pressed tightly against your mouth. You glared at him, struggling to wrench yourself out of his grip, but your strength was nothing compared to him. Not here? Then where has she disappeared? She murmured to herself, raking her eyes around, and went back inside. Jungkook peeked from behind the rock. When he made sure that Jiyeon was gone, he removed his hand from your mouth. You idiot, is this your plan to murder me? Yes, and it's a perfect spot to execute this. No one can hear your screams of help. He had the serious expression which made you believe him for a moment. You gulped in fear but decided to play it cool in front of him. Look, I'll bite you hard if you did anything to me. I'm dangerous, remember? You glared at him with all your leftover courage. Look, wife, bite me anywhere you want, but if you bite me on my neck, I'll change the way you walk. He smirked, pressing his body against yours, capturing you against the rock. Blood rushed to your cheek at his unhinged talk, and then, without thinking twice, you bit on his neck, digging your teeth into his flesh. He is trying to push you away. Hey, I was just kidding. You pulled back with a smirk and pushed him away. Served you right. Don't you mess with me, you own husband of me. Flipping your wet hair proudly, you swam out of the pool. You glanced back at him and noticed him looking at you from head to toe. Pervert, you murmured under your breath and ran back inside. Why and where were? How did you get wet, dear? Your face flushed and you quickly thought of an excuse. Mom, I slipped and fell in the pool. Oh, then go and change quickly or else you will catch a cold. You nodded and fled away immediately, not wanting her to see you flustered. Mom, have you seen Ryan? I've been looking for her, but she is nowhere. She asked, a frown marring her face. Yeah, she just went inside. Poor my child fell in the pool in this freezing weather. What? But when I checked there, I didn't see her. They fell silent when they saw Jungkook walking in their direction, completely drenched from head to toe. They shared a knowing glance and a smile appeared on their face. Jungkook, how did you get wet, honey? She asked, a mischievous glint in her eyes. I just went for a swim in our pool, Mom. I did a pretty good job, replied feigning indifference. Oh, you know why Indu fell in the pool? Did you see her there? Jungkook's face heated up and he looked anywhere but at them, while they enjoyed his flustered state. No, I'll just go and change. His mother chuckled, seeing him all flustered and timid. But Jion's eyes widened, seeing a red mark on his neck. She choked on air, coughing like never before. Jungkook noticed her reaction. Before she could embarrass him by pointing it out, he dashed out of there, running towards his room. His mother left as well, leaving a coughing Jiyeon behind. Oh damn, Wine is wild.